didn't tell my parents that the event they were missing was my wedding, so my parents have this habit of making everything about them. When I graduated high school, my mom spent the entire ceremony on her phone because she was coordinating my cousin's baby shower that was happening 3 weeks later. When I got into college, my dad's first response was asking if I could defer a year to help him with his new business venture selling essential oils. Yeah, you read that right. Fast forward to last year when I met Jamie at work. We both worked at this boring insurance office downtown, and honestly, the only thing that made those 8-hour days bearable was talking to her during our lunch breaks in the parking lot. We'd sit in my beat-up Honda eating gas station sandwiches and just laugh about how ridiculous our boss was. The guy literally wore the same lime green polo shirt every Tuesday for 6 months straight. Jamie and I started dating pretty quickly after that. Nothing fancy. We'd grab pizza from that place next to the laundromat, watch Netflix at her apartment that smelled like vanilla candles, normal stuff, but it felt different than any relationship I'd ever had. She actually listened when I talked, didn't interrupt me to tell her own stories, and she never once made me feel like I was asking for too much when I wanted to spend time together. By month 8, we both knew we wanted to get married, not because of some grand romantic gesture or anything. We were just sitting on her couch watching some dumb reality show about people renovating houses, and she turned to me and said, "We should probably just get married, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, definitely." Here's where it gets interesting. I mentioned it to my parents during our monthly dinner at Applebee's. You know, the kind of dinner where my mom spends 30 minutes complaining about her book club drama, and my dad talks about his golf game that nobody asked about. I waited until they both took a breath and said, "So Jamie and I are thinking about getting married." My mom immediately launched into this whole speech about how weddings are so expensive and stressful, and wouldn't it be better to wait until after my sister's divorce was finalized because the family doesn't need 2 big events happening at once. My dad just nodded along while scrolling through Facebook on his phone. Then my mom started planning our wedding for us, without asking. She pulled out her phone and started showing me pictures of venues that were more appropriate for our budget, which apparently meant the community center where she does her Zumba classes. She was talking about inviting 200 people, most of whom I'd never met, and having my cousin's kid be the ring bearer, even though the kid is 7 and has a tendency to eat things that aren't food. That's when Jamie and I decided to do something different. We found this small place about 2 hours away that does simple ceremonies. Nothing fancy, just a little cabin with a fireplace and a guy who's legally allowed to marry people. The whole thing would cost us like $800, including the photographer who was the guy's wife. We set the date for a Saturday in October. Perfect fall weather, just the 2 of us, and Jamie's brother as our witness because he's the only family member she actually likes talking to. We didn't tell anyone else because honestly, we just wanted it to be about us for once. The Friday before our wedding, my mom called me all panicked because apparently my aunt was having some kind of family reunion barbecue that same Saturday, and she needed me to come help set up tables and chairs. She was going on and on about how this was important family time, and how disappointed everyone would be if I didn't show up. I just said, "Sorry, I can't make it. I have plans." "What plans could be more important than family?" she asked, in that voice she uses when she thinks I'm being unreasonable. "Just something I need to do," I told her. She got all huffy and said fine, but that I was being selfish, and everyone was going to ask where I was. My dad texted me later asking if I could at least stop by for an hour because my mom was really stressed about the whole thing. So Saturday comes around, and Jamie and I drive to this little cabin. The ceremony was perfect. Like, actually perfect. The guy who married us told these sweet stories about love and commitment. Jamie cried a little during her vows, and I managed not to drop the ring even though my hands were shaking. Her brother took pictures of us by this lake, and we had lunch at this tiny diner afterward where the waitress congratulated us and gave us free pie. That evening, I'm getting all these texts from my family. My mom's sending me pictures from the barbecue. My dad's asking where I was. My sister's texting that everyone kept asking about me. I just responded with, "Sorry, had something important to do," and left it at that.